It only took moments for a city full of Super Bowl joy to be overcome with grief.
We became part of a statistic of too many Americans, those who have experienced a mass shooting.
Wednesday was supposed to be a party. Schools closed, with almost 1 million people expected downtown to celebrate the back-to-back Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City, let me hear you one time!
Right after the parade and rally, officials say someone started shooting.
That's right, shots broke out during yesterday's homecoming parade for the Kansas City Chiefs, who of course won the Super Bowl over the weekend. Now, multiple shots were fired into the crowd, killing one and injuring over 20 other individuals. Now, during a press conference today, authorities shared more details about the victims.
During the overnight hours, we learned there are 23 victims of yesterday's shooting. One of our victims, Elizabeth Galvin, 43 years old, died. The 22 victims' age range between 8 years old and 47 years old. At least half of our victims are under the age of 16.
Now, the fatality was Lisa Lopez Galvan, who's actually a popular local radio DJ who was attending the celebration with her son, who's a fan of the Chiefs. Currently, 2 of those injured are in critical condition. Others have been released from the hospital. Children's Mercy Hospital did say all of the minors who were injured are expected to recover. Authorities also declared that people have been taken into custody for being allegedly involved in the shooting. Let's watch.
We have subjects detained, 2 of which are juveniles. We are working to determine the involvement of others. And it should be noted, we have recovered several firearms. This incident is still a very active investigation.
So overall, the authorities have detained 3 individuals, as you heard in that clip. 2 of them happen to be underage, they're minors. Officials say that they do not believe that the motive was terrorism and that the shooting was the result of a dispute between several people, although they did not elaborate what that dispute was about. The shooting outside Union Station occurred despite the presence of more than 800 police officers who were in the building and nearby, including on top of nearby structures. According to the mayor, Quinton Lucas, who attended with his wife and mother and ran for safety when the shots rang out. Witnesses described confusion as the gunshots began. Some believe that it might be fireworks. Some people didn't run at first, but others immediately scrambled for cover. According to AP News, the rally music initially continued playing despite the havoc. And then within moments of the shooting stopping, some people were walking as if nothing happened. I mean, we do live in America after all. This is a common thing that happens all across the country, unfortunately. At one point, Chiefs fans actually tackled a gunman while police are seen in the video just kind of sitting by. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're gonna show you that in slower motion. Let's bring that video up, keep our mics up, because I want to explain what you're seeing. So let's take a look at this video. All right, so the man that you see circled is the alleged gunman running through the crowd. And then you can see him get tackled, okay? So we've zoomed in, there we go. You can see him get tackled. At the end of the video, the woman who is circled, you're gonna see her in just a moment, is seen picking up and moving the gun away from the gunman. He had dropped it and then she moved it away so he wouldn't be able to access it again. Paul Contreras is one of the men who tackled the gunman. He and his daughter Alyssa also went on CNN to talk about what happened. Let's take a look.
What can you tell us about what happened in that moment?
I just heard somebody yelling to stop this guy, tackle him. You don't think about it. It's just a reaction. He got close to me. I got the right angle on him, and I hit him from behind. And when I hit him from behind, I either jarred the gun out of his hand or out of his sleeve, because as I'm taking him down to the ground, I see the gun on the ground. And then another good Samaritan comes over and is helping me, because I kind of got him high, and the other guy gets him around his waist, and we're just putting our weight on him, and he's just fighting to get up, but we're fighting to keep him down. And we're waiting for the cops to show up. They get there, and the second cop gets there, the third cop gets there, and then they pretty much take over. Once they had him and got him cuffed, I sat there for 2 minutes with all my 3 daughters. And then we walked away. We headed toward our car.
Incredibly brave to do it. I wish we lived in a society where people didn't have to do that, but incredibly brave. And look, these sports parades, has there ever been a sports parade where there isn't violence? I mean, there have been sports parades where there's violence, but not necessarily gun violence. But why is there always violence during sports parades?
Because you collected a whole bunch of guys and put them in the same place.
Oh my God.
I mean, keeping it real. The number one demographic of criminals is young men.
Criminals don't exist, Cenk.
Okay, all right, so first of all, Good Samaritans, amazing, wonderful. Look at that, American heroes, they exist. I mean, he's tackling a guy with a gun. That is amazing. Let's also note that it was a Super Bowl parade and a guy got tackled and he fumbled the gun. That's kind of awesome. Okay, so now, to be fair to the cops, yeah, you see the cops over there not reacting. I don't know if they understood what was going on or not.
I agree, yeah.
The other cops did come in fairly quickly, right? So it wasn't like no cops reacted, right? So this isn't like a Uvalde situation where they're just sitting on their ass, right? But you had 800 good guys with a gun and it didn't prevent the shooting. So the whole idea of if there's a good guy with a gun is the only thing that can provide a bad guy, stop a bad guy with a gun, it's just not true. There was 800 of them and they still couldn't stop it. So, and then, at least in this instance. And then the last thing is, guys, we always look, hey, is it political, is it personal, is it terrorism, is it, which religion is it right wing, left wing, etc. There's one common theme, guns. So they all do it with guns, we gave guns to everyone, and then we're surprised every time there's a shooting, a mass shooting, a public shooting. You shouldn't be surprised at all. It's gonna keep happening till the end of time, or until we get money out of politics and our politicians stop being corrupt pigs.
So I want to understand something, because last year ranked second for the most mass shootings in a single year since 2013, okay? Also, interestingly enough, Kansas City has long struggled with gun violence. In 2020, it was among 9 cities targeted by the US Justice Department in an effort to crack down on violent crime. In 2023, the city matched a record with 182 homicides, most of which involved guns. So is there violent crime or is there not? I really want to understand, because you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't, on one hand, acknowledge the existence of gun violence and increased homicides when you want to make a point about the need for gun control, and then pretend like, no, we don't have an issue with violent crime at all, when you want to make the case for shutting down prisons and letting all sorts of violent people out of prison, or avoiding any prosecution of violent criminals.
Yeah, look, we're constantly stuck, 80, 90% of Americans. So yes, some folks have gotten carried away with what they think is criminal justice reform, but it's not seeking justice to let actual criminals go. The whole point of criminal justice reform was to make sure we protect the innocent from being called criminals and being put in prison.
Exactly.
Right? So, and yes, on the right, you also have the guys who go, who cares, give guns to everybody. Oh, can you believe they did a shooting? Yeah, and the rest of us are like, please stop the criminals and the gun violence, please, and no one listens to us.
Yeah, look, I feel uncomfortable going to places with large crowds at this point, right? Like I avoid it at any and all costs, because why? You don't know what's going to happen. That's the society. That's what we're dealing with now.
So you know what that is? We're terrorized. And I've said this many times before about these mass shootings. We are voluntarily choosing to terrorize ourselves. It's insanity. If somebody is not in favor of, I'm not saying all gun control, just simple things like red flag laws, universal background checks. Yeah. You should definitely vote them out of office. But if you don't, then don't be surprised that we're constantly living in a shooting gallery.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.